Hello everybody, it's Sports Federation TV. My name is JP Nordia. I'm standing in for Lunyek to chat. He's kindly given me the opportunity to speak to you about the upcoming conference that's happening at the Nedbank Centre in the Waterfront next week. It's the Sport and Peace Conference. So if you love sport and you love peace, then of course this is a place for you to go. That's of course next week. And joining me on the show now is Professor Marianne Kiem and Professor Christo de Koning. Marianne, welcome to Sports Federation TV.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
And Christo, you're of course no stranger to the world of sport because you're involved in the world of pigeon racing yourself.
Thank you, JP. Very nice to be here.
Marianne, let's start at the beginning. It's Sport and Peace. It's a conference coming up next week. You've also got an Olympic affiliation, which is of course ties in nicely to the fact that there's federations, and the federations for part of SASCOC and part of the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation. So there's a close connection here in terms of federations and sport. Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so. We promote Olympic value education. So we are from the Foundation for Sport Development and Peace. So I have a different hat on, not the university hat today. Sport and Olympic values are very important. South Africa holds the chair of Sport and Peace internationally with the United Nations. And the Olympic Committee, the IOC committee has a new committee. It's the Commission for Olympic Education. And so the promotion of Olympic values for athletes and coaches is really paramount for us.
What would you say? I mean, Christo, let's bring you into the picture. I mean, we talk about values, you know, good and evil and so on. I mean, what's an Olympic value?
The Olympic values, and it's been very excited to see them taken up in some of the code of conduct of the sport federations also here in the Western Province. Yeah. Of course, the 5 Olympic values are, first of all, excellence, to be the best that you can be, then joy of effort, to be enjoying what we're doing, respect and fairness, always big ones for players and for coaches, and then, of course, the balanced body, mind and spirit. The debate is also, of course, whether the Olympic values that I've just mentioned, how they actually relate to universal values, and whether there are other values that are equally important for us as sports people, and what that debate is all about. You may know that the Paralympic values, for example, include values like determination, and some other values that go beyond the Olympic values.
So now this is a conference at the Nedbank building, and I understand, of course, federations have to register, but it's free for the federations and NGOs and other folks, obviously, that are interested in the world of sport. But there's a little bit of a difference here in terms of this as a conference, because there's a lot of crowd engagement where the attendees, the folks in the actual seminar, get to engage with each other.
Yes, certainly. On the 13th, which is next week in Wednesday, we have our main conference. There are a number of commissions, and one of the commissions are dedicated to the role and responsibilities of sport federations. So we really try and provide a civil society platform, if you like. We've also done this last year and the year before, and really good to hear what sport federations think, also about values, because this issue will be featuring there as well. And yes, we'd be very finally
someone is actually asking the federations what they think. I love that. They're going to love that.
Yes, so we're very keen to have the federations there. We have a special commission. As you said, there's no cost. People should come from 8:30 at the Nedbank building at the waterfront. People may know that's close to the clock tower, and they will find us there, and hopefully they'll have a very good time. We're very keen to hear what the federations say.
Stunning venue, yeah. Marianne, let's go to you. Just tell us a little bit about how did this start for you? Where did the Sport and Peace Conference come from? I mean, we know that you've traveled all around the world to Lausanne. You're involved with SASCOC in terms of the Education Commission in that space, but you also work on an international level. But on a local space now, the Sport and Peace Conference, how did you guys come up with this? What's the initiative?
Actually, it started 2011 when South Africa was elected from the United Nations side to be the chair for Sport and Peace internationally in the International Working Group. And it was the first time that a southern country from the Southern Hemisphere was actually elected in an International Working Group for the United Nations. So internationally, we hold as South Africa the chair for Sport and Peace. That was 2011, and then 2014, South Africa was re-elected into that position. Also, sport, peace and development is part of our national recreation plan. So it's part of all the documents that we have, transformation and so on.
Yeah.
So as a country, we have a responsibility to actually do something with the title that we hold, to be the International Working Group Chair for Sport and Peace.
You've done this before now. You've done a couple of these conferences in Cape Town, obviously. Give us one or two success stories from previous conferences. There must be some fantastic anecdotal incidents or stories that has come out of this.
Yes, no, we had wonderful success. Actually, we don't only do it in Cape Town. One of the success stories is that it was adopted to also be held in the States. So we also had 3 roundtables, one in terms of the Boston bombing in Boston, a roundtable on sport and peace, and the last 2 in New York, based on the model here. So it's the first time that a conference that was developed from the global south, so to say, is adopted in the global north. Also, it has now considerable interest from international stakeholders, as you said, like the IOC was there last year. Also TAFISA, the Recreation Committee for Sport for All in the world as well. And we have this year for the first time, especially for the ladies, I want to mention that, we have the General Secretary addressing us from the International Working Group for Women in Sport.
Yeah.
So one of the focus areas is women in sport. And we have the Youth Commission that is new, that is also a success story.
Yeah.
And then I think one of a very unusual success stories is our Peace Heritage Games, Youth Peace Heritage Games. That was actually a brainchild of Prof. de Koning. And
tell us about that, Christo, the Peace Heritage Games. That sounds interesting.
Yes, it is. It started off a bit like the Amazing Race, but we're quick to say that it's not an amazing race, because the safety and well-being of our youth is prime concern. So we don't go around racing around the city. In fact, our board member that will be facilitating this is Warren Lucas, and so although
gymnastics,
exactly.
Chairman of the Cape Town's or the Western Cape Town Sport Cape Town Federation.
Yes, he's been involved in the administration also of that federation. He's a board member with us and an ex-student and an excellent person to be arranging that. JP, what basically happens is we have 5 different teams from different organizations all over Cape Town and the Western Cape. And they basically compete against each other by visiting different heritage sites in Cape Town, like the slave quarters, for example, or areas that's well known for Mandela's speeches, also the Nobel Peace Prize winner, bronze statues at the waterfront, and then these teams basically visit these different peace and sport heritage sites and then come back to the conference, actually to the reception, and share with us their ideas.
So Marianne, there's a big connection globally with South Africa and peace.
Yes.
We've seen Tokyo Sexwale be seconded, in fact, into the Middle East in the world of football to broker peace there. We've seen Emeritus Archbishop Desmond Tutu recognized many times for peace, and of course Madiba was probably one of the world's greatest symbols for peace and reconciliation ever. It seems like sport and peace have a way to come together.
We are the only country in the world that has 4 Nobel Peace Prize winners. A lot of countries would be happy to have 1, and so we have 4. And so there is a responsibility, and we also would like to ask then the sport fraternity, what is your role? What can your federation, what can you do in terms of promoting sport as a tool for social change and peace in your environment?
So sports federations have got a bigger responsibility than just scoring results.
Definitely, I would say so.
So give us again, it's at the Close the Clock Tower, it's a Nedbank building, next week, Wednesday to Thursday.
It's on Tuesday evening is the reception.
Tuesday evening is the reception.
At 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful also show with an international singer, Jan Klose there.
Yeah.
And on Wednesday, the whole day is the conference.
Okay, Wednesday's all. And where do people register?
They register on our website.
Yeah.
That's www.foundationforsportanddevelopmentandpeace.com.
All right. The longest URL on the internet.
Longest name.
Give that to us again. Foundation. www.
foundationforsportanddevelopmentandpeace.com.
All right. Christo, thanks for joining us on Sports Federation TV. We wish you guys the very best of luck. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and have a great time.
Thank you, JP, for having us.
Looking
Thank you.
forward.
To you guys as well. Yeah, keep up with the great work.
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Lenyuk Tacheta will be back next week. Have yourself a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.